Ira Epstein of Linn Associates with your morning flash update for this Tuesday, the 18th of May, 2021, and we're right now at about 8:30 a.m. Central Time. Well, as you can see in the stock market, slight green, but it is in the green, and that's a good thing, but it's very quiet. And you've got patterns here that are very difficult because you've got, in many cases, in a chart pattern, higher highs, lower lows, and if one is looking at, like I do at Bollinger Bands all the time, and we'll talk about that at the end of this, you're trading right in between them. That's always a difficult area to be doing anything with. Gold market acting still good, 1900 mark. It's the next goal in the market, as I see it. It could pull back here, 1875, $25 increments in gold often prove to be a little bit difficult. The copper market got breached today through the 475 level, hit 478. When you take a look at Brent crude, it got up to 70.24. It's backed off $1, but that's the first time I recall in a very, very long time that this market has been able to get up there. When we take a look at the grains, a bounce to be expected. You had gotten down, especially in the wheat market, to the lower Bollinger Bands, and you held them very well. Dollar index still falling right now as Europe continues to look better, as their economy's picking up, and the odds of them raising interest rates anytime soon, very, very small. So the more that we talk about raising U.S. interest rates, that's one form of saying we're going to choke our economy in some manner. So you've got that. Now remember, the Republicans today, well, they're going to offer their infrastructure plan up, so we should see that very, very shortly. We'll get an idea what they're talking about. It should be sizably different than the last one. If it's not going to go very far with the Democrats. U.S. housing starts, big disappointment, down nearly 9.5% on the starts. Wow, and the housing market as tight as it is this summer, it's going to keep prices up. And even the permits, while they're up 0.3, they didn't get up to the expected 0.8. The Red Book numbers, well, if we take a look at here, the retail sales were up 13% the first 2 weeks of May 2021 versus last year. And retail sales were up, I think, 12% versus May 15th of a year ago. They give them to you in two different ways. European Union Stat Office, they're showing you that the Eurozone entered a recession again. They had two back-to-back quarters of losses. In the UK, we're looking at unemployment at 4.8%. Now that number, interesting, how low it is given all the situations that they had recently. But that's what you're dealing with. The one thing that's universal across everywhere that we're coming out of the COVID situation is tight employment in the sense that you can't find workers. And in the U.S., I just heard Indiana is now backing out of the government program as well to give workers that extra $300 a week as of June 19th. And the reason? You're just hurting everybody when you're doing this. You can't get the people to go back to work. They make more money not working. Now, as I said, Bollinger Bands, so important. They've become one of the mainstays that I've looked at for years. If you'd like to get your doctorate degree in Bollinger Bands, take a look at this. Welcome. I'm Ira Epstein, and I'm here to talk about my enhanced Bollinger Band course. Now, many of you have taken my regular charting course, and if not, you might think you know something about Bollinger Bands. As you know, Bollinger Bands are an algorithm designed to keep the market trading within it 95% of the time, and on a chart it will offer on the top part resistance, on the bottom support, and the idea is the market will travel within them. We know that sometimes it latches onto that band, goes up or goes down. Well, how do you play with that? Can you pyramid the positions off that type of thinking? Well, I've applied all three of these into 13 different videos that teach you my concept of it. And from that concept, you're able to work with weekly charts and or daily charts. The 13 videos, each about 7 minutes long. The idea here is not to put you in school forever, but to teach. Now, if you haven't tried my complete futures research, I throw that in as well Whether you've tried this or not, I think it's worth taking a look at. I think you're going to learn something from there. That research, by the way, covers twice daily market updates for you and access to what I call window envelope numbers, which I think are very important when looking at these Bollinger Bands. The next part is a trial to our charting software so you can make your charts look the same way that mine do. It's that simple. Where do you go with it and how do you get all this? It's simple. You go to our website, www.iraepstein.com. If you go to the word education, everything you need is answered there. You can also call my staff. They'll be happy to help you get set up. I'm Ira Epstein, on the road to your education.